Welcome back to the Physique Factory Podcast, and we are deeper into prep than last time, so it's getting harder and harder. So sorry if it's a bit of a it won't be a slow one. We're going to slag people off in this, so you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, like you can say that every week now. It's like we are deeper and deeper into the abyss. We've got fuck all left. We've got nothing to give you.
Only thing that is pushing us on is just pure rage and fucking anger.
I do feel like that today. Like, and I think it's because I've sat here and fucking looked at this computer screen. I've been out 2 walks with the dog. That's it. And like, I put a post in my story this morning actually about the dog treat. Do you see that?
No, I've not really been on Instagram today much.
I fucking I was giving the dog a treat and I was looking at it and I was like, you know what? Right now, that looks somewhat appealing.
It's like when you go into Lush, look at the fucking like the bath bombs there. I think, you know what, I could smash one of them right now.
Wonder how many calories is in a fucking bath bomb.
Imagine, fucking yeah. I wonder what it is. Fucking hell, they don't really put that stuff on it.
It probably tastes pretty horrendous, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, it looks nice, but there's no way.
It smells nice anyway. I know that much. But are you a bit of a bubble bath guy, James? Is that what you're getting at here?
No.
I can imagine you just sitting there with a bath bomb at night reading a book, cucumbers fucking over your eyes. Wouldn't be reading very well with cucumbers over your eyes, mind you. But yeah, I can imagine you being one of those.
Yeah, it's just a shower. I can't relax.
I can't think of anything fucking worse than sitting in a hot bath. You know that.
It's maybe like the odd time to recover and stuff like that, but I just can't really sit down and be like, oh, just do.
There's something good to talk about. What do you think about these fucking like cold water plunges?
Bullshit for bodybuilding. Absolutely fucking bullshit, because it stunts inflammation, and if people are training and then going jumping in a fucking pool, like a cold pool or whatever afterwards, it's going to stunt the inflammation, and that inflammation is required for hypertrophy. So it stunts like the actual like ability to gain muscle. So it's probably not the best. But in terms of health, it's got a lot of health benefits. But if you're a bodybuilder, I wouldn't do it post training. I'll probably keep it like 4 hours each way.
Yeah.
Training.
Yeah. I just honestly, I've never tried it, so I can't really slag it too much. But I can't see the fucking appeal of jumping into sun freezing cold.
I've looked at, I know exactly. I've looked at the studies for it, and it's not really that good for like gaining muscle or anything like that. But there's a few health benefits. But in terms of what you just said, then yeah, it's fucking cold. Who want to jump in a cold pool of fucking water?
James's assessment of everything in life is like, this is no use for building muscle. I'm out.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was like, are you any use to me in my life? Are you going to help me build muscle? Nope. Fucking do one.
You'll be a great laugh at family parties, eh? Everyone's having a drink and a bite to eat, and you're like, this is absolutely no use to my goals. I'm out here.
I know, yeah. I was like, you're not going to help me grow my business. You're not going to help me fucking gain muscle. You know what? You're all a waste of fucking time.
You know what? You joke about that, but we talked about that last week. There are those people out there that are fucking like that. They're like, no, this is not bringing me towards my goal of being a fucking natural pro bodybuilder. Oh, fucking hell. Natural pro bodybuilder. Like, gets you absolutely not. There's actually no real benefit to it. It probably costs you more.
Yeah, there's no life. You need to fucking have a life, don't you? It's just like, I think what me and you are learning at the moment, because we're so deep in prep, where we're so like regimented. It's all right because this is our goal at the moment. But as soon as we finish prep, then the social occasions are definitely coming back in. We're not
partying.
Oh yeah, we're not. Yeah, that's we made plenty of fucking posts about that, didn't we?
Well, to be fair, like I'm not a big drinker. Like the last time I drank was with you in December, so that's fucking 9 months ago, and.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it just didn't fucking interest me really that much. I've had my time, but you know, I'm not saying I'll never do it again. Like, but yeah, it's just not a big thing for me. But like, even just fucking, I don't know. Like, I like the regimentation of, is that even a word? I like that fucking regimented thing of prep. Yeah, like waking up at 5:30, taking the dog a walk, an hour of studying, like every single morning, like clockwork. I'm just fucking bang on. And to be honest, I'm quite like that out of prep anyway. But I feel like you get that extra little bit when you're in prep. But there is some aspects that are starting to upset me, like that. Just not upset me. I'm not sitting here crying, like, but like, you know, starting to bother me a little bit now. But we're only a week out.
Yeah, I think the first 8 weeks of prep is okay, but then it starts going a bit downhill in terms of like the focus. So if I wake up in the mornings and I'm like, fucking hell, I can't focus on like studying shit. So that's why I'm doing all this social media thing at the moment. because it's more easy for me to apply and learn and shit like that and actually put something into it rather than just thinking, oh, fucking biomechanics. I'll study all that shit in the off season or when I'm not fucking prepping or anything like that, because it's going to be a long time before I actually do another prep, if I do another prep. So there's a time and a place for that, but at the moment I just need to focus on functioning.
So when you say if you do another prep, are you like thinking right now, fuck this shit, why am I doing this?
I've just got too much shit to do. And this is it's not getting it's making it harder for me to grow my business, even because, we're taking the things daily, thinking, right, what do I need to do, and being on the ball and all that sort of shit.
Wait a minute, James. If we're going to be business types, if we're going to grow this business, we need to get up at 4 a.m. We need to journal. We need to go for our cold plunge. And then once you've had your cold plunge, you've got to go into the sauna after that, because for some reason that's a thing, going straight from one to the next. And then yoga, meditation, and then we start our day, because that's how billionaires start their day.
Apparently so, yeah. That's what it looks like on TikTok anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I do that every morning. What I just said earlier was bullshit. I just didn't want the masses knowing what we're doing, but now it's out there. It's like, fuck, everyone's going to be a billionaire, like me. Like, you see this Rolex? Oh, or is that a Samsung watch that I got free with the phone? I don't know. I don't know which one that'll be. But I almost bought a Rolex, funny enough. Well,
No.
I didn't almost buy one. That's a lot of shit. I looked at one in Turkey and it was 150 quid, and I was like, you know what? I was like, see, for someone like me that doesn't know anything about Rolexes or fancy watches, I thought it was right. But I was like, that looks legit. I'm like, you know what? I might buy that, take it home, sell it. 10 grand. But obviously people know, because like every Tom, Dick, and Harry would be fucking doing that if you could, couldn't you?
Yeah, it'd be obvious. It'd probably, like, the wear and tear, it'd probably last about a week.
Like the looky man coming around with them. You want Rolex? £10, 2 for £10.
So, who are we going to talk about next?
We're not turning this. This isn't like turning into like the bitching podcast, is it? Like,
it normally is. That's what I'm thinking. How can we, like I said it last week, how can we get a post or clip out of this and put it on Instagram to upset someone?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think Nick upset anyone, but it was fucking funny. Like, I like that.
Comical. That was fucking comical. That was brilliant.
It was a good episode. Nick made the episode. We need to get Nick on more often, but it's when he spelt his coffee. Like, that was was the moment. Imagine doing that on a fucking podcast.
Brilliant. That's what you get with, like, being on your phone in the fucking car doing a podcast
and trying to drink a coffee at the same time.
Yeah.
But a topic of conversation that that I put up in my stories the other day, or across the last couple of days, is there's a lot of coaches out there. Yeah, those bad bastard coaches. Hire us instead. But like, there's a lot of coaches out there that like to put goals onto their clients, and there's obviously a fine line there, because there's like, if you've got a client, you're getting them leading, you're like, you should do a photo shoot or whatever. It's like, cool, because they're pretty much there already, and if they want to do it, then great. If they don't, then that's great. But like, sometimes, like, you're just suggesting something that they never thought about. But there are coaches out there, and I spoke to a guy who literally had been with a coach for a week, right? Literally a week. And he was already talking about how he needs to be focusing on a bodybuilding show next year. And it's like, the guy literally, what he told me was he wanted to gain a little bit of muscle, lose a little bit of fat, and he wanted like a Cristiano Ronaldo type physique. That's not a fucking bodybuilder. At what point did he say, you know what, I want to get a pair of trunks, I want to tan myself up, shave my legs, and jump on stage? It's like,
can't push goals on someone. It needs to be their goal. So whatever they come to you with or recommend, then yeah, maybe like if you're like coaching them and along the way they think, oh, that's pretty cool, the bodybuilding stuff, I wouldn't mind giving a go at that. That's what's happened to my clients. Like, one of my clients, John, he did like a bit of a transformation, and we did some pictures in the gym. Then he was like, he looked at how he was looking and thinking, I wouldn't mind doing a show next year. I was like, do you think you want to do that? I was like, oh yeah. It was like, to be fair, it wasn't far off from where it was, because he's really, really lean. So I was like, you're not far off now. So if we have a decent off season and then do it again, then I think you'd be good. And it was like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it.
Yeah. There's a difference, though, isn't there? There's a total difference. I'm like, but I know what these coaches are doing, and the idea for them is someone comes in the door and all they're thinking about is the result. And like, I will admit, like, I'm so results focused. That's what I'm trying to get, is results, but not at the detriment of the client. Not if it's doing them more harm than good. And like, we've just been talking about how shit bodybuilding preps become. And if you've got a lot on your plate already, if you've got if you're self-employed like we are, and I know we're fucking overcommitted too. We probably shouldn't be doing it either, but anyway, you know, self-employed, kids, animals, fucking whatever commitments you've got. How are you going to fit in 6 training sessions a week? How are you going to fit in fucking 6 cardio sessions a week? How are you going to do this and that? These coaches don't care. They've never thought about that. They've just thought, if I get him on stage, those pictures will look great. I'll have some great before and afters. I'll make more money. And that's what they'll think. And at the end of the day, they're not thinking about what's best for the client.
Exactly. It's just, it can fuck them up so much as well. Just because if they've he's pushing it that extra bit far. Okay, getting in shape, but getting in shape for a bodybuilding show is a totally different thing completely.
I think there's a line, isn't there? I think like even photo shoot shape. I think you can get there pretty unscathed, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
The last kind
Definitely.
of 3-4 weeks, like, well, even the last 2 weeks for me is the only time it's really been tough. But before that, it was actually pretty smooth. It was pretty easy. And you could even afford to be a bit flexible at those points as well. Obviously, you've got to dial it in closer to the show. But, like, you know, doing a photo shoot prep, it's not a hard one. Like, most people should be pretty ready for that. Again, you've got to assess a client in front of you because, like, depending on their history, it is going to be a little bit different. But, like, yeah, most people for a photo shoot prep would be okay. But then it's a confidence thing. And then it's also the whole thing of like, do they even want to do that? Do they even want to kind of look like that and get pictures like that? And some of them don't, and that's cool.
They can't say no because you're forcing them into it. And
yeah, that's what I do. I just like fucking. I'm like, look, I booked this photo shoot. You're doing it. You actually signed up for this, and then you've got a bodybuilding show 3 weeks after that. So good luck. Buy a pair of trunks. Get yourself some time.
We laugh about it, but I bet it happens.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. It definitely does. There are coaches out there that'll do it, but again, it's a big thing. Like we see it a lot. Like even like when you go back to the biomechanics world, people imparting their biases on people. Like, you know, if I'm good at bench pressing and I think the bench press is the best exercise in the world, how many coaches do you know that are out there and that's what they're doing? They're like, everyone's got a bench press, everyone's got a squat, everyone's got to do this because I like them. You know, it doesn't matter about the client.
Unfortunately, is fucking hell, probably like over half of the industry or half of the PTs because they enjoy that exercise, so they're going to give it their client.
It's only natural as well because you get into this because you like fitness, you like training, you like, you know, doing all this stuff. And then obviously like doing your level 3 PT, like you don't know, no one teaches you that every client's going to be different in terms of like their structure and their like ranges they've got available at their joints. So it's like, it's only natural to then say, well, what do I do? I've had success like this. This is what I'm going to do. But like, and you can't blame the clients, or not the clients, the coaches that don't know, the new coaches, the green coaches, if you want to call them that, the wee green bananas. But like when you've been coaching for, you know, 5-6 years, you've got to notice this stuff, surely.
Exactly, I know, but some people just don't want to learn and they're doing the same shit and they're getting people climbing up and down stairs on the hands and the knees. Seen that one, absolutely ridiculous. I don't know where the fuck they've got it from. Where the fuck have you got that from? Walked into this gym, Evolution in Rochdale, actually. It's a good gym. Some of probably the worst collection of PTs on the planet working there. And this guy, I'm not going to name him just for the sake of not naming him. And he's got his client like literally climbing on the hands and the knees up and down these stairs. And I was like, what? Just literally a normal person as well. Completely normal Gen Pop person. Probably their goal is to lose some weight and that's it. And then he's got them climbing on the hands and the knees up these fucking stairs.
You just got to laugh at it, don't you? But the thing is that kind of, and I'm not defending them at all because that's just fucking ridiculous, pointless. But you know, people are always looking for something different, though, aren't they? Like people as a whole, and it's like if you come in and you're just trying to get them to do, I suppose, a basic training program in the gym that's like suitable for them. Sometimes they think that's a bit boring, don't they?
Exactly. They think, oh, right, I've got to offer something different. How can I make myself different? How can I make myself stand out?
Yeah.
You can just make yourself look like a fucking idiot. That's what tends to happen. So
I think it's tough at the start, though, because I think, especially when I started, it's like clients have got this expectation, and you're feeling like, well, if I'm not like, you know, fulfilling that expectation, are they going to sack me, sort of thing? But like, you've kind of got to stay true to your value. And like, I'm at a stage now where I'm lucky enough. If someone said to me, like, look, what we're doing, I think it's bullshit. We need to be crawling up the stairs on our hands and knees. Then I would politely tell them to fuck off.
I think as long as you're giving that client what they want in terms of like most of my PT clients, they're not really transformation clients, my PT clients. All my online clients, they're all like transformation clients and like physique clients. My one-to-one clients are they show up, they're literally completely normal people. They show up, they like training, they like having a chat with me, they like progressing things in the gym, they like going home, having a glass of wine and just living a normal life. But because they're lifting in the gym, they're improving the bone density, they're not gonna be at risk of like having like sarcopenia or losing muscle, anything like that. So that's gonna do them perfectly, and they know what they want to get out of it. So that's fine. That's a good enough goal. But in terms of like our one-to-one online sort of stuff, then it's got to be different in terms of like the physique. That's the main goal. We want to transform people's like bodies physically. So it's totally different. It depends what you want. As long as you're giving the client what they want and meeting their expectations, then you win.
It's that combination of what they want and what they need, I suppose. But what I was going to say, like with the physique-based stuff, it is very much towards a goal, and like you can be a bit more, I suppose it's my way or no way sort of thing. I suppose like going back on what I said, backtracking a little bit on what I said was you know, if a client wants to do something, so there's like a client of mine who probably doesn't listen to this, but she comes to me with glute exercises all the time, right? And these ones that she finds online. So, you know, what I do is say, look, let's just try it. Because if it's not doing any harm, and if she likes it, and if she feels like it's working, then great. You know, we can have that as part of the program, as long as we've got some stuff that I know is actually working.
Exactly. So if there's some fluff there like that, as long as it's not injuring them, they're getting a sensation out of it or something like that. Because if they say, "Oh, I like this feeling when I do X, Y, Z," then I think, how can I make this better? So you include that in the plan and thought, what have we tried doing that exercise like this, or we try a different exercise like that, just so we can get that similar sensation and then progress it from there. And say, there's also have that fluff in the plan, like all these fucking booty band fucking extensions.
You not start like, you know, drawing up on the whiteboard and being like, look, there's no moment arm to your hip here.
It's all quads.
Yeah, don't tell them that, because usually they want to avoid the quad growth. But what was I going to say? I had something else to say to you there, and I forgot. I was too busy checking how much fucking battery I had in this iPad. Fucking Veed, the video editor I was using, have sent me an email offering me 50% off because I cancelled their subscription.
Oh shit!
Shit, it's shite.
Always happens when you cancel, doesn't it?
Yeah, shite. Apart from at Physique Factory.
I was going to say that. You beat me to it. Well done.
Doesn't happen here. But yeah, like go back to what you said. Like if like sometimes when you let them try these exercises too, when they come to you with this mad stuff and you let them try it, they're like, oh, that is shit. You know, they realize themselves. So like, why the fuck do I want to do that? Like, but
because it's Instagram bullshit or they've copied it or something like
it's
that.
actually TikTok bullshit a lot of the time. Thank you very
much. It is most of it now, and I'm back on TikTok if you've not noticed. So
yeah, I seen your post got a lot of likes. I told you that was a good one. Like,
yeah, no, it was only literally how long was it? 4 seconds the video.
4 seconds. Yeah, that's people's attention span nowadays, though.
It is, I know. So it got like 500 likes or something. I'm yet to post it on Instagram because I'm not sure how.
Come on.
Do you reckon I should?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah. If anyone takes it seriously, then that's their own problem.
I might post it later then. That's my post on for today.
Exactly. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Job done. That's something about like online coaching that a lot of people probably don't realize. Like, I mean, I don't know about you, but I spend a shit ton of hours. I've spent most of the day creating content. Like,
it's so painful. Well, it's not painful. You just need to get in a good structure and routine of doing it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when we get in fact, even when we get like when we really grow this business, we still need to do that. It's always going to be there. It's our job. It's literally
it's bringing people in, I suppose, and then obviously coaching them within that. But online coaching, I think, is something that like the more and more I do of it, again, that like I don't know about you, but personally, I'm as busy as I've ever been with online coaching and PT. To be honest, like everything's just fucking hit me all at once. 1 week out, and like everything is fucking going crazy, which I can't complain about. I'm lucky to be in this position. But online coaching, like, is so demanding. Like, people think to themselves, like, let's get off the gym floor and let's start doing online coaching. I can go work on a beach in fucking Spain or whatever. But, like, you have to work a lot. If you want to make it work, unless you're already got, like, 40, 50 clients and you just need to maintain that, then that's great. But, like, you need to work a lot. And, like, everyone, like, do you ever find, like, especially because we're PTing as well, which is probably a shitty place to be because you're not really able to give 100% either way, if that makes sense. But like you know, I'll finish up sessions 8 o'clock at night or something, get home, sit down with my missus, and it's like, right, time to chill out. And then look at my phone, there's like 20 messages, and I'm like, fuck. But everyone texts you in the evening because like that's when they're off, you know, like they've been at work all day. So you've done their check-in or whatever, you've sent over like their feedback for the week, and then they don't look at it till like 8 o'clock at night. And you're like, well, I guess I'm now having a conversation with you instead of my wife.
I say, well, I get people who have done like the check-in, the feedback and stuff like that. And then, so I always do mine on the Fridays, like today I've done it this morning. And I get like notifications on Loom when they've watched it. And it's always on like a Wednesday or something of some people. I thought, you've not watched a check-in for 5 fucking days. I was like, what are you doing?
I would be watching it straight away. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like
straight away because you need to implement what you're actually changing onto the plan. But yeah, and then you get those people who don't check in, and I'm just like, look, I've got very, very like restricted on time, and everything's like set. I don't think you understand. I can just sit down and fucking nail out check-ins. They're all booked in, so you can't just not
because you
check in.
dedicate time to it. It takes time as well. Like check-ins aren't just a case of like, hi, you're doing great, that's fine. I mean, so, actually, sometimes they are. Like I've seen me do a few where it's like a few minutes long. It's like, yeah, you're smashing it, mate. Just keep doing it.
Depends what the client is, don't they? Because some clients just want short and sweet. Like,
it depends how that week's went as well. Like I told you about the guy that sent me a 9-minute voice note today, and it's like there was a lot to get back on that. So I sent him back a 13-minute like video feedback. And then when people put in form assessments and shit like that, like you could be there. I don't know, it depends. I don't like them going over 20 minutes. Like that's fucking excessive. That's with form assessments. I wouldn't like to do more than like even that guy's today. I done 13 minutes talking, and I was like, wow, like that's too much. Like,
I think like 15 minutes per client, that's top. With like all the changes and then the feedback and all that sort of shit. 15 minutes a client.
Yeah, that's what I'd love to say it would be, but it rarely works out at that. Rarely. But so you do them all in one day?
Yeah. So I had like over 20 odd like today. I've still got a few that I need to do. I told them if they don't check in, I literally tell them if they don't check in by 12 o'clock, then I'm not getting anything back today. And then I might have to find some time over the weekend and I'll get it back as and when. But that's
you've just got to be clear on that from the start. It's like if you don't submit your check-in, you're not getting feedback. That's the way it works. And like it's again, you kind of when you're not as busy with it, you get a little bit like lenient with it, and you're like, oh, I'll just do it anyway because I'm not that busy. But like, yeah, when you get to this stage, it's like fuck, you've got that time set aside. That is the time to do it, and you know, there's no other time really for it essentially. But obviously you can communicate. But like what I find is this got into a whole other conversation as per usual. Like, but fucking the clients who communicate between the check-ins, who are messaging me, who are sending me voice notes, who are
I love that. It's meant that because you feel like you're actually doing your job. So don't just message me once a week. I want to know what you're doing. Literally, if you message me when you want or if there's a problem or anything like that, I'll get back to you because I love clients like that because you know they're on the ball. You just they're fucking awesome.
But when you come to do their check-ins though, it doesn't take long because you're communicating constantly. So it actually makes the whole process a lot easier.
Exactly. No, literally message me whenever you fucking want and we're gonna get back to you because it's our job. Yeah. And those clients are just the best. So don't be if there's an issue.
It's each client to their own. Like some people will just check in once a week and they'll give me loads of detail and you know that's fine. But the other ones like to communicate frequently, and when they do that, it makes it so easy. Like I had a call with you know, Tom that's down at your gym actually. I had a call with him last night, and I was like, Tom, you know, there's fuck all to talk about because we've been talking all week. So it was like, you know, it was cool. It was fine. It was like, cool. We'll just call that one early. But like, when we've been, we usually spend a lot of time going over his form assessments and things like that, which is pretty cool. But like, you know, he didn't have any yesterday and we've been chatting all week anyway. I was like, well, I'll see you later then, mate. That's that. But I mean, it's cool. Like, it makes for a good relationship when people are just like, ah, shit, I had this problem. And then you say, you know, the ones that are implementing stuff, like, I'll get messages like, you know, when should I take creatine? Should I take it in the morning or whatever? And it's like, I've got that in the supplements tab on the sheets. It's like creatine. It's like, well, they've actually took the initiative. They went and looked and they thought about that. And now they're asking questions about it. It's like, well, they're clearly actually implementing what I've asked. And that's pretty fucking cool. But then sometimes you'll put something like, I don't know, multivitamin on there or something. No one ever, like, maybe they don't need to ask, but sometimes they don't ask the question. You're like, wonder if they're actually doing that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most things people don't. I don't know. You got an inclination that what client's not like doing what you say to the plan, say they're not taking the supplements. they're not sticking to the food, and they're just, well, it's the ones who are just like, I was like, oh, I got a food prep the other day. I was like, was that on the plan? I was like, no, I didn't say that, did I? And yeah,
What do you
you know,
think? A lot of coaches out there say meal plans are bad, and I know personally, I give out meal plans sometimes. Not always, sometimes. What about you?
depends. It's a
Yeah.
fucking hard answer, but it depends. So most of my clients, they want a meal plan, which can change each week. So they want to know how much food they're eating, what precise grams it is, what it weighs, all sort of stuff like that. But then I like doing a meal plan, but having flexibility with it. So if they can say, right, just can I change that meal for this much protein? So the same amount of protein, same amount of calories, yeah, go for it. It's flexible, it's cool.
Yeah.
And then 100%, that's what I used to do. That's what I do, like when I'm not in prep. So instead of hitting the same meals all the time, I try and hit the protein and hit the calories, and then I'm happy with it.
Same structure though.
Yeah, exactly the same structure. Just make sure you're hitting again, protein calories.
And then, like, yeah, that makes it so much easier because you've got the structure of a meal plan, you've got the flexibility of like flexible diet, and it's a win-win if you ask me.
That's it. So if you're out and about and you think, fucking hell, right, I need to get about 50 grams of protein, about 500 odd calories. What can I get? Meal deal. Go into like Tesco. You've got a chicken like salad sandwich, which is roughly about 25 grams of protein. And then you've got like, you can get one of those fit 25 grams of protein, like the shakes, and then you can get some fruit as well. And then that's going to be about 550.
Yeah, there you go. But that's the thing. And then other days, like personally, when I'm in like a off-season phase as well, it's like other days I'll maybe not even stick to the same structure, but I'll just hit the calories and protein for the day. I'll still space my protein out, but like, you know, I'll do the same structure. And it gives you that ultimate flexibility. But for me, it depends a lot of the time on where a client's starting from. And when I say a lot of the time, I mean all the time, it fucking depends on that. So like if someone's like, I just started one of my friends actually as a client, which will be interesting, but he's not into tracking macros. He doesn't know anything about that. He doesn't know anything about nutrition. That's my job to obviously teach him that. But how do we get the best start here? Well, I give him a meal plan with foods that he likes, give him a couple of options for each meal. Here's the meal plan. Here's what we start on. You can't live the rest of your life in a meal plan, but we can teach you now as we go along how we can adjust things as the situations come up. And as you fail, essentially, that's where we'll learn. That's where the lessons will come. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But like that's what I tend to do a lot of the time.
That's why coaching's so much better than a one-off plan, because if someone just gives you a one-off plan, there you go, see you later, I'm not going to see you again. Coaching's more adaptable, so you react to what you're facing.
Feedback, yeah,
that's it, the feedback, and then you change your plan based on that. That's why coaching is there's no why the fuck would you get just like a one-off plan of someone? You just literally ripping you off.
It's like a doctor giving you fucking medicine and saying, right, on you go, that's it. Like
someone came up to me in the gym the other day, pretty new to the gym, and it was like, oh, do you do programs? I was like, no, I do online coaching. I went, oh, what's that? And it's like, well, one, like, programs, you just don't work because you're gonna need changing, adapting, it might not work for you in terms of like the exercises, the training, as well as like the nutrition. So it needs tailoring along, and we get check-ins, and this is how we change things, this is how it works. I went, oh, how much is it? I was like, oh, it's this much per month. It was like, oh, fucking hell, I can't afford that. I was like, well, if you sit down and just work it out properly, then depends how much you want it as well.
That's
So
that's an interesting one, isn't it? Like affordability, because I've actually wrote a post about that for tonight, and I remember, right, I would go out 2 or 3 weekends a month, right, and I would spend probably 100 quid a night out, bare minimum, right?
Oh, yeah, no, that's cheap though, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think I had the most expensive nights out in the world, like especially like the little town I'm from, and then the town I'd maybe go to for like nightclubs and things like that. Like not that expensive. It's not like going out to Manchester, put it that way. So like 100 quid, right? If I had to get a taxi home, that might have been put up a wee bit. The next day, every time, I would fucking get a Domino's and some Ben and Jerry's as well. So there's another 30 quid, right? So there's 130 quid, 2 or 3 weekends a month, right? Which is fucking adding up, and that's like $390 a month if I went 3 weekends, right? And then every Sunday I'd sit there and I'm just sitting feeling like shit. And I'm like, right, this week I'm getting my shit together. I'm not going out next weekend. I'm going to finally knuckle down on my training and on my diet. But I was at that stage where I just kind of started training and I didn't really know what to do. So I'm looking up online and I came across this fucking thing, and it was like some sort of like guide for like cutting, right? And it was 99 quid. And I was like, I can't afford that. And like, I'm sure you can see the irony in that straight away. It's like I was spending 390 quid a month on boozing and fucking pizzas. but I couldn't afford a 99 quid one-off plan. And it's like, again, one-off plan wouldn't have done much good anyway. I did eventually buy it. And it did actually help me out a lot with my first cut, and I learned about like macros and shit like that. But you know, that £99 I suppose has paid dividends since then. But yeah, like it's the irony of the fact that I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't afford this shit. Like when I'm actually spending more. It's not that you can't afford it. It's just you're prioritizing other things.
Now sit down and work it out. It's like when you made that post the other day about the coffee at Gleneagles. So coffee at Gleneagles, what was it? A fiver?
£5. That was with members discount as well.
Wow, so you're looking at like £7 for a normal brew.
Yeah. And it was it tasted worse than like Nescafe out the tin granules.
Oh wow, just because it comes in a cup with Gleneagles on it.
It was not a plastic cup, but a fucking paper cup.
Oh, even worse. Fucking
I
hell.
know, but like we talked about this, like, you know, when they fucking make the coffee beans or whatever, and then they put it into like boiling hot water, that just ruins it. It just
Oh yeah, it just it burns them, doesn't it?
yeah. When I make an espresso out of my machine downstairs, it comes out and it's drinkable straight away. It's like at the right temperature, and that machine, oh my god, that machine is my favorite thing in my life.
No, I've got one as well.
It's not my favorite thing in my life. I better not say that. I've got a wife and a kid downstairs.
No coffee machine
and a dog.
So where's the cat? Where's the cat?
Oh, I fucking hate my cat. You're welcome to my cat. Like,
fucking hell. So anyway, what we're saying, I've got a Tassimo machine, and yeah, it's amazing. It comes out the right temperature. It's perfect. It tastes a lot better than all the other shit. So to be fair, I like that better than most of the coffee you get from like coffee shops.
Yeah, Costa's shit. Starbucks is shit.
Costa's really bitter.
Yeah, I don't like either of them, to be honest. There's actually a Starbucks not too far from me, like literally a 5-minute drive, and I've never went to it. Never been in it. Never.
Is I like all these like niche coffee shops though, because they've always got like different types of coffee. There's one called Tobacco.
Yeah, I've seen your pictures of that. That looks good.
Yeah, it's good. So the coffee's good there, and then there's Bean. That's a place in Rochdale. But yeah, the coffee's good like at those places where it's a bit more niche. But yeah, in terms of like the chains and the branches, it's not too good.
I have to thank Danny for my coffee consumption actually, because you know, Danny from Metcon, because I got an espresso machine, and like it's an espresso Virtue or something it's called, and it's like I think it's kind of new anyway. It's a different shape of pod, and these pods were like £1 each. I was like, fuck me, like I'm going to spend a fortune on them. And Danny got me set up with some subscription thing where like basically you pay £12.50 a month, and then they give you another £12.50. So basically you're getting your pods half price, which is fantastic. So like I'm actually literally waiting now to like see the £12.50 come off my bank account so I can do the next order, because I've been drinking so much of it recently. And this conversation is making me tempted to go downstairs and grab them. I'll do it after the podcast, don't worry. But yeah, coffee is a lifesaver on the diet. I think we talked about that already, didn't we?
Definitely, it's needed. It's fair. I want one now. Now you're saying it.
And all this chat about these coffee shops you're going to, like, are you the same as that when you're off prep? Would you still do the same there, or is that just a prep?
Yeah, no, I still go to coffee shops off prep, but I just love coffee in general.
Do you work from coffee shops very often? I know you were doing it for a while. We've done a few podcasts you were there.
Yeah, so that was Bean in Rochdale, and then you've got the Market Street in Whitworth. So yeah, a few times, yeah.
I've never tried working in one at all. Like I've never done that yet. I just set up my wee fucking office here, and
it's not bad. It's just it's better. It's good to get out the house and get around people rather than just being sat in your house. So you need to get out. So
I think that's my problem today. I've sat here since 6:30. I started studying.
Yeah, sure.
I went one dog walk, one in the morning, one during the day. But like, yeah, I've literally sat here since. That's check-ins, and then content. That's basically that. Speaking of content, or it's not kind of speaking of content, but remember I sent you that video the other day, that girl doing the deadlift?
I've still not watched it. Do you want to get it up?
Yeah, I'll get it up. Let me get it up first before I share my screen. Let's see. It was interesting, but I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it as well, actually. Like, not just the initial thought of fuck me, what's she doing? Like the actual mechanical thoughts on it. I sent it to you, didn't I? Like I actually did send you it, didn't I?
Yeah, I just not watched it.
Where are you? What's your name again on Instagram?
JT Physique Factory.
JT Physique.
You
Is
should
that not
know.
what you call yourself on YouTube or something?
But it's something like that.
I can't find you. Oh no, there you are. James, PT/online coach/transformation specialist.
There you go.
James, I'll do it all. Right. Let's see what we've got. I better share my screen. Those of you that are on YouTube, enjoy. I think you can see my messages on that. I don't know if I should hide them. Wait a minute. Yeah. I'll get it up first. Nothing too bad to hide on there. Like, it's just Instagram messages. I just send people a load of shit, to be honest. Right. Are we ready for this? Right. So this is what Liz Aiken's her name. Strong woman. You ready for this?
There's a
207 to be fair. It's a big lift.
Wow. Well, fucking hell.
Talk about grinding it out. She's still going to.
Christ. Yeah, it's not pretty, that is it?
No, it's certainly not pretty. But what's your mechanical thoughts on it? What are you thinking? Like, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, she's like, look at that first comment. How did her back not break? Terrible form."
Well, it's the thing is, it's the sport, so you need to move that weight from A to B. And mechanically, you're more efficient at lifting that load when your back is in that position.
Look at her spine, right?
That's it. So, when you spine in slight flexion, mechanically, you're at a better position to lift that load, so you'll be stronger.
Yeah, but what I would say is she gets into a position of flexion and it doesn't move. She holds that solid. She's got that, like, she's not like flexing and extending as she does it. She gets into, I don't know how to restart it, but like she gets into flexion, she's in that position, she's braced and she's holding that. So I think in terms of available ranges, potentially, like, look, so she's there now, right? And she stays there.
Yeah, it gets better. It gets better. It's not, yeah.
So I don't think she's exceeding the active range she's got in terms of flexion. She's obviously got a shitload of strength. So the muscles that are like surrounding her spine and supporting her spine have obviously got the strength to do so. She's not came off it injured. So
it seems like she can tolerate those ranges as well. So that's why rounding your back when people look, like, oh, look at that, look like they're around the back. They shouldn't be doing that. And it's like, what's the goal? Who's the person? How much they can tolerate? All that arty stuff.
Jesus Christ, this was hard to watch. Someone get her a trainer. I'm sorry, as a personal trainer, this is absolutely not okay. Videos like this are the reason why other people and young kids think it's okay to lift like this. Please don't ever let your background and lift like this. It's not worth it. Interesting comment.
Why? It's exactly it. Comment was like, why? Tell me why. They will not. I was like, oh, it's bad for your back. Why?
No,
why
there's someone. Look, Paul Mamone. Why?
Exactly why? Tell me why.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It is,
yeah, there we go. These have some content why it's so bad. It was like, yeah, but you don't fucking know, do you? It was like, you can't say
university as well.
Like, you shouldn't be fucking lifting like that.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I mean, we're looking at someone's Instagram that nobody, well, not nobody, but like none of these people will know. So it's like you don't know the person, you don't know what they've got available, you don't know what they can tolerate, you don't know their training history. It's like you can't say that for sure. And exactly. I bet you if we scroll down, right, let's just see, right, on this woman's Instagram, I bet you she's got other lifts where she's lifted like that, and I bet you that's not been the first time she's lifted like that. And I bet, like, well, here's another deadlift, right? I bet she's lifting with the same round. She has got a coach as well, so that person was wrong.
Most people are wrong.
There you go, lifting with a round. I lift with a fucking round with a deadlift.
So it's fatigue. You're going to at the end of the day, aren't you?
Yeah, it becomes a problem, or in my opinion and my experience, what I've seen and experienced myself, it becomes a problem when you exceed the range where you can tolerate that sort of load.
Yeah, the amount of flexion, I mean, even if it is your active range, if you're going into those ranges of flexion where you can't tolerate it, then they potentially will be like an issue. But over time, you're just going to get used to being in those ranges, aren't you?
People are afraid to move their spine as well.
Oh, no, yeah, for keep your spine still. I was like, why? Why should you keep your spine still? I was like, it's going to be worse than that because your spine is a synovial joint. It needs movement to actually function and live. Else, it's going to come up and be fucked.
Well, exactly, like the facet joints. they're going to eventually, like the hyaline cartilage between there eventually does wear down. It's like when you see those old grannies that are hunched and they've not got the ability to extend their spine anymore. I mean, you do. I can still get into spinal extension, sorry, but
it's like when
can't.
It's like when I'm training people in like extensions, so doing like back extensions, and whether it's on like 45-degree where I'm blocking the hips, or on that Nautilus Nitro machine, and they're going into like a lot of flexion, they're going into a crunch. So really tell them to cave in, thinking about getting the ribs into the hips, into the pelvis, and then extending out.
Crush your internal organs.
Yeah, and there was like, oh, that's a weird movement, that isn't it? I was like, you always get told not to do that in the gym. I was like, off who? Social media.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then rotation as well, like training some form of rotation, like people are all can be a bit weird about that. But like the spinal flexion one, when you do that in the gym, people are looking at you like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, is that all right?
You don't be rounding your back like that. And I was like, you shouldn't be fucking talking to me. Fuck off.
True, but like again, it's like that person talking about young kids, like, okay, if you're new to training and you've not been training for long and you're not that strong, then maybe rounding your back's not a great idea initially. But
exactly, yeah.
How can you say that? I don't know. I don't know the person we're talking about, so it's hard to say that.
If they've got like a spinal issue, maybe like deadlifting full stop isn't a good idea. But if their goal is to deadlift and they can tolerate deadlifting, then yeah. But then if they've got somewhat of a history of some sort of spinal issue, then I'd be telling them to keep their back pretty much like straight all the time. And that is a good like example of what you would say or have someone to do if they have like a spinal pathology. But if they haven't got a spinal pathology, they're strong as fuck, they can tolerate those ranges. And what's the goal? Is it fucking powerlifting like there? Then yeah, go for it. It's fine to round your back.
But would you say keep your spine straight? Because you've got to be careful of that too, because that might be an end range of extension for someone.
Well, you're just going to work that out first, though, aren't you? You need to work with someone to see what they have before you actually recommend shit. So,
if
someone's like, keep your spine straight. I can't straighten my spine. I can't get into that position. I was like, so you can't fucking tell people what to do before you know what they have, because
that's the kind of the misconception, because people say keep your spine neutral, keep your spine straight. Well, how do you know, unless you've tested, how do you know that a straight spine is a neutral spine for them? Because neutral, a very misunderstood term, is it's between the two extremes. It's between the extreme of flexion and between the extreme of extension.
I'm gonna throw Nick under the bus here because he was like, I was posing. He went, "You've got a very lordotic posture." I was like, "Nick, what the fuck does that mean?" I was like, "Are you supposed to have a lordotic posture at your lumbar spine?" And then you've got a kyphotic posture on your upper spine. It's just a direction of the curve of the spine. And then he didn't message me back when he gave him the answers.
Nick's like, you just reply as like, Nick, your house is northwest of you.
Yes.
It's like the same statement.
I threw Nick under the bus with that one. So
but I feel like that's very misunderstood, isn't it? Like neutral spine. Everyone says it. Like loads of coaches say it, and it's like they don't even fucking know what it means.
What the fuck is neutral spine? I think neutral spine is a degree of lordosis in your lumbar spine and the degree of kyphosis in your thoracic spine, and then there you go.
Well, as I say, like I would describe it as anywhere between the two extremes. Like anywhere in between there, it's neutral.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone said, and I can't remember who it was, I'm not going to steal this quote, but basically, if you're driving your car and you don't want to crash it, stay away from walls. So it's basically the same with your spine. If you don't want to get any injuries, stay away from end ranges. That woman was potentially in an end range. She could tolerate it.
Exactly, because she's strong as fuck.
Yeah, well, it seems like she could tolerate it. I don't know how she's feeling right now. She might be fucked.
Right. Are we going to wrap things up soon just because I've got my mum coming around at R3 and I need to tidy the house.
Does she not want to come on the podcast?
We don't want that. We do not want that.
This week, our special guest, James's mum.
No one wants that.
No, not even her.
No. It's not mainly me, but no.
We'll wrap that one up at that. But I'm going to do another shout out that I don't do often enough to everyone, that if they listen to the podcast, make sure, give it a little screenshot, put it up in your Instagram story, tag us, let us know you're listening, and let everyone else know about the podcast. We'd really appreciate that. I don't know when the next one will be. I'm competing on a week on Sunday, so hopefully we'll get one in before then. And we'll talk some more shit. And then you've got quite a full calendar of competitions too, so we will try and keep these up in between. But yeah, that's been another episode.
Well, good. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.